Hey, this is Matthew. Welcome back to Nerd News Today, and it's time for another action figure review. Today's review is one that's been on our radar for quite some time, in fact, way back since February, when we were at Toy Fair 2020 and we interviewed Ryan Magnon, who's the founder of Panda Mony Toys. We had a little interview with him where we discussed this line that we're going to be looking at today, which is the alternation action figures. So Ryan's company, Panda Mony Toy Brands, is a startup business with a launch of 6 figures from this alternation line. And Ryan was cool enough to give us a tour of what these toys looked like, what they did during Toy Fair. It was a lot of fun. And after the event, he was kind enough to actually send us the full set of the first wave of figures. And we're going to be looking at one of these today. And we're going to look at the other 6 throughout this week and into next week. And since this is the first video in this series, I want to do a quick shout out to Ryan to thank him once again for sending this our way, and to also apologize to him because we got these in probably like the end of February or very early March, and because of the COVID outbreak we weren't able to get to these as soon as we wanted to. Other stuff kept coming up, and I was trying to find the best way to talk about these figures and review them. And you guys, I think this one's going to be worth the wait. But the main point that you need to know about these figures is that they're essentially humanoid alien hybrids, like we're seeing with El Rey here. Each character has some kind of basis with an animal in nature. So El Rey here, he's the leader of the team from Alternation, leader of the good guys, and he draws his powers from electric eels, catfish, and stingrays. So we're going to see a lot of that in his design once we take him out of the box. But speaking of design, let's actually talk about this packaging first, and I really like these packages here. So you can kind of see a better view of it here. This is a hexagon-shaped box, which I think is very unique, and it kind of is meant to mimic that DNA strain which you see on top there. And it's a really nice window display that lets you see a lot of what the figure is on top, a good view of it from the front, as well as some stuff on the sides. On this side here, it talks to us a little bit about what this character does, if you will, and what it comes with. And the opposite side here, again, reminds you guys about the website, and also lets you know this is the first wave of these figures, so hopefully there will be more soon. And speaking of that, this hexagon slab over here lets you see who is part of Phase 1. We're going to be looking at all of these characters here from Phase 1 and Phase 2, which is Alpha and Bomber. Hopefully those guys will be coming out soon. If you're wondering what else is on that side here, that's a really cool comic-style illustration of El Rey. So the back of the box is, again, actually really awesome. There's this really cool little puzzle up here, which is a fun little thing to toss in there. We have a very good extensive bio about El Rey. And on this side of it, we got a little bit more about the powers that he has, a little bit about the accessories he comes with. So there's a lot to do with this package alone. And you know, as you can imagine, every single one of these is unique to itself. We've looked at some other toys from other companies, even back in the 90s, that just basically would cheap out completely on their packaging and do nothing customizable. And you would think with a startup like this, they'd want to kind of scale back on that thing in particular. But believe it or not, every single figure in this line, it's in a different sized box, and each one is unique to them. So that makes them very cool for collectors, but that's not really the only part that's cool about collectors. I'm going to open this guy up now and show you what else I like about this. So in addition to the packaging itself being extremely collector friendly, so too is the inner packaging. You can see what I mean here. This has got its own little separate compartment that is, well, he just fell out there, unfortunately, because I was holding it, but it's going to snap together. It's just like what we see with like Diamond Select's PVC statues and that kind of thing. It just snaps right back together. This is incredibly collector friendly. So Ryan clearly knows what he's doing here, targeting both the kids and the adults here. All right, so here's our look at El Rey now out of the box. This is my first time seeing the production version. At Toy Fair, we were just looking at the hand-painted prototypes. If you watch that video, you'll see that some of them don't quite work the way they're supposed to, or they're kind of falling apart because they were just literally pieced together from the actual protos. This is the production version, and I'm really impressed by the sculpt, the articulation, how this guy looks, his accessories. But before I jump into that, I want to actually show you what else he comes with, which is also pretty important. So he does have an instruction manual. That's always very handy to have here. It tells us what this thing does. And I didn't realize that this has got batteries in it, because I don't know if we saw that at Toy Fair, but this guy lights up. I cannot wait to try that out. And he also comes with a little comic book. So let's take a look at what this is here. So this is issue number 1 of 8. So we can assume that the bad guys will have the rest of it. And wow, this is actually pretty much a full-sized little mini comic here. Wow, that's a really nice throwback to the good old days, 90s. I remember getting the Aliens mini comic and those Kenner toys. I really like those. This is about, I think it's a 16-page comic in here, it looks like. That's really cool. I like that. It comes with this little nice comic. But let's talk about the figure itself now. So El Rey has the power of electric eels, catfish, and stingrays. And it's got a real aquatic look to him. You know, it kind of reminds me of a little bit of Abe Sapien from the Hellboy comics and the movies. It's got that really nice aquatic look. He looks all geared up too. I like the plastic, or at least the paint choice. I'm not sure what it is, but he's got this real nice shine to him. You can maybe see it in the hands in particular. It's really kind of shiny and makes it look wet. I don't know if that's on purpose, if that's going to be special for him or other characters, but whatever it is, it works for him. I really think this sculpt is a lot of fun here as well on his face. I really dig the details on this. It looks kind of like a catfish. Still looks very humanoid. It's also really friendly too. You know, pulling in from those types of animals, it could turn something kind of more scary or villainous, but he made this look very friendly, very wise in fact too. I like the character design on this figure. And I can also say up front, I'm very, very, very impressed with the paint app on this character here. Very clean paint job all around it. And I love this tail. It just keeps flopping around because this is one of his awesome, unique things that he has is this tail. And oh man, you can see it wiggling around. It feels like a real fish. It feels like a real stingray. I got to pet a stingray not that many years ago, and it feels kind of just like this, but a little bit slimier in real life. So this is awesome. I love this. This is a great accessory. Oh, you're gonna freak out so many people with this thing. So El Rey has 15 points of articulation. That includes a head that turns. We've got shoulder joints. We've got biceps that can curl and wrists that move. We've got a ball jointed leg, the knee that bends, and some ankle articulation. So pretty good. And this one, the waist does not move though. I don't know if the others do have that or not, but the reason his waist doesn't move is, I guess we're gonna talk about some of his features, is that he has a light up feature. You press his belt, and there he goes. He's powering up, and he is blinking. Do that one more time for you guys. It's a nice little accessory in there, and that's what part of the instructions tells you about, is also how to change the batteries, how to take them out. You know, I usually tend to take these out once I'm done doing the reviews, just to keep them safe. I recommend you do that also. And it uses some LR44 cells, little small tiny batteries. So what else does El Rey come with? Well, he's got a bunch of accessories, which includes, over here we've got his harpoon. It's a good looking harpoon. Let's see if we can get this in his hand. Wow, there we go. So yeah, we can get it into both hands. This is how it's supposed to be. It actually is in both hands. And that fits really great. You know, that's something I've seen a lot of toy companies do, even bigger, much bigger toy companies than Panda Mony Toys. They have trouble getting characters to hold their accessories, but nope, El Rey got that into his hands with really no problems at all. So that is a big plus right off the bat for this toy. That's not all he comes with. He also includes this spear pistol, which is pretty big. This one I actually am a little curious if it's gonna stay in his hand or not, but no, it actually goes in his hand just easy. Just like that. Spear pistol's in his hand. That's a nice color too, nice design. Kind of reminds you a little bit of like Overwatch weapons. That's kind of the new aesthetic these days. And he also has his blowhole portable cannon that can be mounted over his shoulder. This I'm curious about to see how it's going to work. He's got all these things in on his way, you know, on his shoulders. I don't know if that's going to easily go onto his shoulder as much. Yeah, maybe not quite completely over his shoulder. It's pretty close to it though, but it's not 100% on that shoulder because he's got those things that block his chest that light up. But that's the cannon there. That actually is a really nice looking cannon. When I first saw it, I kind of wondered if it fired or not. That would have been awesome if it did, but most toys these days don't even do that. Again, it's a nice throwback. That's kind of the thing I'm seeing with this toy here so far, and hopefully with the rest of this line, is that there's a lot of throwback elements to them, whether it's the articulation, the mini comic, all the action features and the accessories, but they're also very much modernized. Modern paint jobs, modern weapons, just a modern take on this old style toy. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what else Alternation has to offer. Now just press that button one more time, because I like that light up feature. That's fun. So that's our look at El Rey, the leader of the Alternation characters, of the good guys. Here's all of his accessories as well. This is definitely a good introduction, a good start to this line. I'm really digging what I'm seeing so far here. El Rey has got very good paint job, really nice sculpting, good amount of accessories. I love the mini comic. I love also the packaging and all these other interactive elements that are within it that let kids and adults have a lot of fun with it. And again, speaking of the adults, I'm amazed how collector friendly this is. So we're off to a really great start here with El Rey from Alternation, but we're not done yet because we have 5 more figures to look at. So I hope you'll stay tuned here to watch the other videos coming up in the next few days. And I also recommend you guys check out alternation.toys to read the free graphic novel, check out some webisodes, some other games online, and everything else about the Alternation characters. So this is Matthew from Nerd News Today, telling you guys to stick around. We got a lot more Alternation to look at.